Hey guys, what's going on? Darren here, and welcome back to the F1 22 My Team Career Mode. And this time, we're at Suzuka for the Japanese Grand Prix. If you haven't checked out the last round, go back, go check it out. We were at Singapore, and that race was a pretty hectic race. A lot happened. We had some rain get involved. We had cars in the wall. We had a lot of action. It was a good video. Go back, go check it out. And this time, we are, as I said, at Suzuka for the Japanese Grand Prix. And in real life, this is going to be the first Japanese Grand Prix since 2019, which is pretty crazy to think that we went through 2020 and 2021 without the Japanese Grand Prix, whether it be at Suzuka or Fuji or wherever. So yeah, it's good to be back. I've not really driven this circuit for a very, very long time, so it's good to actually drive this circuit again. It's one of my favorites. It's a lot of fun, especially this section with all the S's. You got this S section which is constantly going uphill, and then you've got this corner here which is, I believe this is the Dunlop part. So you've got the Dunlop part 1 and then Dunlop part 2 here, and then after that you've got the two Degners, and yeah, it's just a fantastic circuit. But I just want to say, guys, a huge thank you for all the feedback that I've been getting recently. I know I said it back in the Singapore race, but I really do mean it. All the feedback, all the love that you guys have been showing me, I really do appreciate it, and I love that we're continuing to grow the channel and get better and better, and I'm just loving making content for you guys. Anyway, it's time for qualifying for the Japanese Grand Prix, and I've got to say it was very nice of the mechanics not to clean the car, so we have a very dirty car for qualifying. Yeah, I don't know why the car was so dirty there. It looked like incredibly damaged. It just looked, yeah, like the boys just kind of ignored the fact that the car was pebble dashed and dirty and all this. They kind of just left it. It was like, yeah, you know what, it's good. It doesn't matter. We're only Pulse Motorsport. We're only one of the slowest cars, so it doesn't really matter that it's not very clean. Anyway, to qualifying, and this is my fastest lap in Q1. See, we're currently just going through the two Degner curves. And it's interesting, I say it was my fastest lap, but we're currently a 10th down on my best lap. But as you see, as you go into this hairpin here, we make up that 10th that I was down. And on the exit, we get a good exit. But that being said, we're still only even with our previous lap. And yeah, it's going to all come down to here. Spoon curve into the left-hander. This way you can make up a lot of time. And you can see here we actually get a very good exit, and we do make up a lot of time at the exit of Spoon. We make up 2.5 tenths so far as we're on the run now into 130R, one of the fastest corners in Formula 1. You take it flat out at 300 kilometers an hour and through 130R into the Casio Triangle chicane, and through there we make up, it looks like we make up about 2 tenths of a second. Yes, we do. We're 2 tenths up on the run to the line. Is it going to be enough for Q2? Yes, it is. P13. So that sees us through to qualifying 2. And you can see on our Q2 lap, we actually did our first run on a set of used tyres. And in the second run, we are currently 9 tenths of a second up on our previous lap. Is it going to be enough to see us into Q3? Hey, we hit the line, and it is it's P15 for the Japanese Grand Prix.
We come to you live today from the Mie Prefecture in the south of Japan's Honshu Island for a race that has seen many title deciders over the years. Some simple, some controversial, but all contributing to a legacy that makes the Japanese Grand Prix an indispensable stop in any Formula One season. A lap of this historic racetrack covers 3.6 miles. It's the only time during the season that we race on a figure-of-8 circuit. And the drivers can expect some intense G-forces through the 18 corners on offer here as they experience some of the highest average apex speeds on the Formula One calendar. Keep an eye out for overtakes into the final chicane. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And Lando Norris lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Hamilton, Sergio Perez, and Fernando Alonso, Bottas, Verstappen, Ocon, and Mick Schumacher. Bennett, Sainz, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Sebastian Vettel and Tsunoda, Joe Magnussen, Daniel Ricciardo, they've taken a grid penalty, and Alex Albon, Gasly, Latifi, Stroll, and Théo Pourchaire. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And alongside me once again for coverage of today's race is none other than the great Anthony Davidson. Let's start with Alfa Romeo. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Oh, I've got to say, I'm absolutely gutted to see Théo Pourchaire down in 22nd place. Fun fact, Théo Pourchaire actually qualified in P11, and there's no doubt in my mind that with all these grid penalties, Pourchaire would have been in the top 10. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame that he's taken a grid penalty. Us, however, we've taken full advantage of the fact that the AI are taking a lot of grid penalties today, as we've moved up from P15 all the way to P11, so that is absolutely fantastic for us, and it's going to put us in a very good spot for this Grand Prix, especially with rain coming later on in this Grand Prix. Now the question is when will the rain come, because if the rain comes at the right time, we could be in a great position to make up a lot of spots. But right now, it's 5 lights, and away they go out, and the Japanese Grand Prix is underway. We get off to a very good start there. We get past Mick Schumacher and Esteban Ocon, and we're looking down the inside on Max Verstappen. Can we get past Max Verstappen? Ah, no, we can't. He just holds it around the outside. But to be honest, that's probably for the best, because Verstappen is a lot faster than us. So what we can do here with Verstappen being right in front of us is we can use him to get past cars in front. Now what do I mean by that? Cars like Bottas is a little bit slower than us, I think, in the race. So because of that, if Verstappen gets past Bottas and he doesn't do it in a very neat fashion, we can use that to our advantage, and we could then see a way past Valtteri Bottas quite easily here in Japan, and that's the plan that I'm going for. So we're going to try and stick with Verstappen, hoping that he gets held up behind drivers like Bottas and Alonso ahead, and use Verstappen to our advantage to find a way past these cars. Will it work? We're just going to have to wait and find out. You can see it go through Spoon for the first time in this Grand Prix. And yeah, like I said, we got good pace in the race. Qualifying did give me a bit of hope, because we weren't that bad. And so because of that, I thought, you know what, in this race, we could be in a very good position to maybe even score some points here today. And so far, it looks like we very much can score a lot of points going to the Casio Triangle chicane. And look at how much time we make up on Verstappen as he gets held up behind Valtteri Bottas, as I was saying. So this is working very, very nicely. Are we going to be able to find a way past these guys? Like I said, we're going to have to wait and find out. We're sticking with them, though, at the end of lap 1. Start of lap 2. And this is very bad for Max Verstappen, because Charles Leclerc is leading this Japanese Grand Prix. And Charles Leclerc is in position to, as of right now, win the World Championship in this Grand Prix. He could very well become the World Champion and take that championship crown away from Max Verstappen. Will he do it? Well, like I said, we're just going to have to wait and find out. As of right now, he's in a very good position to do just that. As we go now to the start of lap 3, and Max Verstappen's going to run around the outside of Valtteri Bottas. Can he make it stick? He's going to have to go the long way around. If he can hold it, though, it's going to turn to the inside for the S's, and he does a beautiful move there by Max Verstappen to find his way past Valtteri Bottas, and it's done just what I wanted it to do. It's held Bottas up, and because of that now, we are in good positions to potentially find a way past Valtteri Bottas if we can just stick with him. We're getting closer and closer. It's gone now into the 2 Degners. We're not going to find a way through in the 2 Degners, but maybe at the hairpin, at Kamui Kobayashi's dive bomb hairpin, we could find a way down the inside. Nah, we're just a little bit too far back this time around, but can we get a good exit and stick with him, and maybe through Spoon we can find a way. We've got the ERS turned all the way up as well, up to overtake, and we're here with Valtteri Bottas. We're going to go down the inside into Spoon. Can we make it stick? Yes, we can, through past Valtteri Bottas, down the inside into Spoon curve. That is absolutely lovely. That is exactly what you want to be doing here at this Japanese Grand Prix. You got to do moves like that because otherwise it's not easy.
Okay, stand by. We see a problem our end and we're looking into it.
Oh no. I was just saying, you've got to do moves like that at Suzuka because it's not very easy to find a way past on this circuit. It's a very fast circuit and that does make sticking with cars and going for overtakes very difficult. But as you've just heard from Mark Priestley, we've got an issue with the car. Is it another gearbox? It can't be another gearbox. We've lost 2 gearboxes so far this season. We can't lose a 3rd gearbox, but look at that. Yep, we've lost another gearbox. That's our 3rd gearbox failure of the season, and because of that, we are out of the Japanese Grand Prix. I don't believe it. We've got to find a way to fix these faulty gearboxes because it's happening just too often. We are out of the Japanese Grand Prix.
And so the celebrations begin, and well earned they are indeed. It might have looked simple at times, but as any racing driver will tell you, competing at this level at the very top is anything but simple. There's no catching them now then. We have a new World Drivers' Champion. Not just victory today then, but the championship as well. What a spectacular season they've had. Congratulations to the whole team. And talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there.
So it's another victory for Charles Leclerc, and with that victory he has claimed the World Championship, and he has done it at the home of Honda. Ouch, that's got a sting for Red Bull and Honda, seeing the Ferrari man win the World Championship at their home circuit. You could say it's redemption because of course what happened back at Monza, but yep, Charles Leclerc is the new World Champion. Absolutely brilliant stuff for him. So as I said, Charles Leclerc wins the Japanese Grand Prix. George Russell finishes 2nd. Lando Norris a brilliant 3rd for McLaren. Hamilton 4th, so a Brit 2-3-4. Perez 5th, Verstappen 6th, Sainz in 7th, and only one guy did not finish the Grand Prix, and that was me. So Charles Leclerc has now got an uncatchable lead in the World Championship with a 127-point gap over Max Verstappen in the championship. We drop down to P12 in the Drivers' Championship, and in the Constructors, Ferrari have a 122-point gap from Red Bull. So as you can see, it's yet another gearbox failure, so we're going to try and not take a fresh gearbox, at least not yet. So we're going to go back to gearbox number 4, and yeah, hopefully that is going to help us, and we shouldn't need to take a new gearbox, at least I hope not. Otherwise we are very much in the mud. So yep, now we got to try and pick a new rival, so at least this could go well. So hopefully we've got some easy choices to choose from. But no, we don't. No, we don't. We got Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris. Quite frankly, the 2 most difficult choices to possibly have for a rival. The Ferrari is the fastest car by a long way, and Lando Norris is on absolute fire at the minute. So, yeah, a pretty difficult choice. So we're going to go with Lando Norris as our rival, and he should be our rival until the end of the season. So guys, with that being said, I want to say thank you all so much for watching this Grand Prix, and I will see you again soon for the next round, which will be the American Grand Prix. So of course, as always, comment, leave a like, and if you're not already, of course, subscribe to the channel for more F1 content. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. Bye.